खंडमंडलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनं शलाकया चक्षुरुमिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै। So we are back to the question answer session, Samvad session. Now here I'm just picking up at random. जो हाथ में लगा उसको निकाला, கையில் என்ன வருதோ அதை எடுக்கிறேன், பார்க்கறது கூட இல்லை. So, dear sir, how to practice letting go with young family at hand, along with and troubles of life. Thank you, sir. With gratitude and respect. I don't want to read the name, or should I? No. So, part 1. When I say letting go, you must also understand that even I have a family. I had little children. They also grew up. So all the problems that children face, I also faced. Especially when they are teenagers, they have many problems. It's normal. So, when I say letting go, I didn't mean letting go of a young family. Letting go is an attitude of mind. It's not, it's like, I'll tell you what letting go means. Letting go is not giving up. You may give up many things, but you may sit alone in a kutir and keep thinking of the things that you gave up. This is not giving up. Letting go is not to allow the stains that happen to you in your life every day to stick to you and move forward. That is the meaning of letting go. When the Upanishad says, Tena tyaktena bhunjita, let go and rejoice, it simply means, let me explain this. Some 25 years ago, somebody might have slapped me. Okay? 25 years ago. Now, today, 25 years have passed, but the slap has not got out of my mind. Is it? Now, if you really look at it, there is no slap now. It happened at that point, and maybe for half an hour, if it was a very big shot. If I had to see a dentist, maybe it took 2-3 days. But that's it. Normally 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the slap is gone. I won't let it go. This is the problem. I will hold on to it in my memory till it becomes a festering wound. He slapped me, or maybe she slapped me, he slapped me. And it will go on sitting inside and creating problems for me. When the actual fact is that it doesn't exist anymore. It is gone. It's done and finished. So when you say letting go, what I actually mean is to let go of that. That carry over from the past that we have. If they are pleasant memories, keep them. If they are terrible memories, they don't exist. Throw them out. When you go to sleep every day, open the window and say, here, I'm throwing away everything that happened that is negative out of my window. Do it as a practice, if you don't mind. But if you are married, then tell your partner what you're doing. You might wonder what you're doing like this outside. So, throw it out and then say that now I'm going to sleep. You know, sleep is like a mini death. You don't know anything when you sleep. Who hit me, who loved me, nothing is known. You're in limbo. When you get up, then you gather everything back again. It's like a mini death. In fact, which is why we get up after sleep and brush our teeth and wash our face, because if you lie like that for 3 days and sleep, you may smell like a dead body. It's a rehearsal for the final rest, nothing very frightening. So, When you go to sleep, think that this is over, I'm starting a new day tomorrow. Time moves, it doesn't stop for any. In fact, in India we have a god, Shiva worshipped as Mahakaleshwar, the Lord of Time. It doesn't stop for anybody, it moves. We are stopping it. We are freezing it by thinking of what happened to us, unpleasantness. Let it go. Allow Mahakaleshwar to work. Let time take it and go away. Live like a river that flows. Don't let anything clog it. This is what I meant by letting go. I didn't mean that if you have children, you should let go of them. Where will they go? Unless they are rebel children like me who run away by themselves. My mother suffered a lot because of that. It's okay. So, please do all your duties in life. When you do all your duties in life, you will definitely get some troubles also, along with the good ones. Don't get frightened of them. Anchor yourself in the inner being, which is the Supreme Lord. Carry on with your life. Life becomes sweet and nice then. This is the meaning of letting go. Okay? You know that one man, somebody who was a very one of the, I would say, closest disciple of Lahiri Mahashaya of Banaras. Before he came to him and met him and took Kriya, he was from Devghar in Bihar, now Jharkhand. He came to him and wanted to be, but before coming to him, he became a monk. I mean, he wore a saffron robe and shaved his head and then came to Lahiri Mahashaya and said, I want to take Kriya from you. And Mahashaya said, who gave you sannyas? So he said, somebody, okay. Said, he didn't tell him a word about his family, but Lahiri Mahashaya himself asked him, the 6 children you have, who will look after them? Me? You gone and wore a saffron robe and come. So, I will give you Kriya. Condition, go and change your clothes, wear white clothes and come back. This is not done, you see. But he said, but society, you want Kriya or you don't want Kriya? I want Kriya. Do it. If that much you can surrender and sacrifice, I'll give it. He did it. So give up doesn't mean to live with all your family. It doesn't mean like that. If you work for your family, do it as a form of worship. That you have been provided with this family by serving them, it's karma yoga. It's nothing to. So, this is what I mean by letting go and rejoicing. What I'm trying to say is, if today at tea time the samosa was not good, don't keep it in your mind. Okay. One day it may be good, but honestly it was beautiful. I can still savor it. So people think a yogi means he has no taste. Not true. Do you know that Swami Vivekananda was one of the best cooks? In fact, he used to cook Bengali food and feed all the Westerners. Some of them even came only for the food, of course, but not like that. And since we are on the subject, I want to say, I'm sorry, this one question, it's an important question. When Swamiji was in England, he was staying with a lady who was his host. And one day there was a talk on Vedanta, profound talk. After the talk was over, everybody was kind of sitting quietly, stunned. He also wouldn't speak a word. He just came out, got into the carriage, the horse carriage, and he didn't speak. And this lady was also sitting quietly, not being able to, because the atmosphere was pretty quiet and trying. He didn't speak a word till they reached the gate of the house where he was staying. Got up from the carriage, went, when the door opened, he said, now I got it. In mulligatawny soup, you have to put the salt in the end. So you would think a yogi would be thinking of such things, right? Not true. There's one book you should all read, which is Letters of Swami Vivekananda. They're very intimate. Many of them he writes letter to his Guru Bhais in India, and much of it is a list of what cooking ingredients have to be sent when somebody is coming. It's not like that. Yogis' lives are not bland as you think, but not attached to something. That is different. Okay. Namaskaram. Please explain the difference between conscious action and acting without attachment. No action can be possible without being conscious. The first sentence is a contradiction. If you have to act, you can only act consciously. You cannot act unconsciously. This is not possible. So all acts or actions in this world are conscious acts. And you have to take responsibility for those actions. Right? Acting without attachment doesn't mean acting without being conscious of it. Fully consciously, you have to act in everything in this world. Acting without attachment means while you put all your energy into the action, people say not to worry about the fruit. There is no action which is done without thinking about the fruit. It's a contradiction in terms. Yes, there is a goal. You're acting for a certain goal. The thing is, if you put all your attention consciously into the act, the goal usually will be fulfilled. But suppose it is not fulfilled and it is not in your hands. You can't stay there and worry about it and sink into despair. Stop and think, why is it that this has happened? Restore what is required and move forward. This is the meaning of working without attachment. Not everybody has a goal. You cannot work without a goal. Have a goal, but if you put your complete attention on the act consciously, generally the goal will be fulfilled. If it does not, due to some reasons beyond your control, you can do nothing about it, right? Don't go into despair. Stop. Perhaps this did not happen because something better was going to happen. Stop and look at yourself why it did not happen. Make the necessary corrections and move forward. This is the meaning of working without attachment. Also, looking after your own children, your family, it's built into our system. We all would do that. Even monkeys do that, many animals do that. It's built into the system. The hens looked after the chicks, right? The moment your mind expands and you feel you should also look after somebody else's child, this is selfless action because there is no self involved here. Then that child is as important to you as your own child, biological child. This happens only when the mind expands and looks at everybody as yours. Then in that work there is no attachment at all. You work, when others are happy, you're happy. So there is one disease which is terrible, which has no reasons, and which is incurable actually. In many cases it is incurable. Jealousy. Other things you can understand. Jealousy is a strange creature. Somebody is happy and you're unhappy. He did nothing to you, but and it's such almost incurable. In Malayalam we say there are two things which are really incurable. Kushumbinum kashandikku marunilla. Right? For baldness and jealousy, there is no medicine. Don't believe all those ads about how to grow hair on your skin. They don't work. Also, if you read any ad on how to turn your hair black, don't believe it. You can dye it, of course. But you cannot. Jesus Christ said that long ago. He said, one cannot turn one hair black or white. So, what I'm trying to say is action is important. If you don't act, you will fall into sluggishness and what we call in Sankhya the tamoguna, inertia. So act by all means. Put your attention into what you're doing. Have a goal. But for some reason beyond your control, if it doesn't work, leave it there and move forward. If you look at even material life, all people who have succeeded even in material life have been people who did not give up because they failed. They took it in their stride and moved forward. Today we have a light, you just switch on, the light comes up. Thomas Alva Edison tried to make an electric bulb 99 times. 100th time he succeeded. We don't know all that because for us it's very simple. You switch on, it comes. If he had given up at the 99th time, we would not have an electric bulb. Did he say, oh, it won't work because 99 times I worked? I agree that he was an inspired being, but hard work is also essential. In fact, somebody asked him that, what kind of inspiration was this that you did so many 100 inventions in his lifetime? So inspiration must have played a great role. He said, yes, it did, but it is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. So if you're ready to do that, then generally you will move forward. Okay? And as far as meditation and spiritual practice are concerned, don't give up. Keep doing. There will be times when it doesn't work. You feel low, but don't give up. All people who have persisted have finally won. My experience. I didn't fall from heaven like you. This I am not going to discuss. I've discussed it so many times. Go into the YouTube and take a look. It's about predestination and free will. I've discussed it many times. Please go. Only one statement to make. I won't stay on this for long. Go on YouTube and check. There's a wonderful Vedantic text called Yoga Vasishta. The great Rishi Vasishta is supposed to be the main character in this. And he is teaching, instructing Sri Rama, who has fallen into depression. Sri Rama falling into depression. Vasishta's advice. In the beginning of it itself, he says that people who think everything is predestined are donkeys. I'm not saying, words of Vasishta. Keep this in mind and This question is about practical meditation. I cannot meditate for long. Can I just do the Guru Mantra, Hum-Sau and Gayatri? That you cannot meditate for long is not an uncommon thing. Many people cannot meditate for long. They may sit for long periods with eyes closed, but their mind is on the stock market or somewhere. It's long. It's difficult to sit for a long time and meditate. It's not just your problem. It's a general problem. Understand this first. Second, Here they are referring to Kriya. In the practice of Kriya Yoga, we chant the Guru Mantra. Today the Guru Mantra is available on YouTube. Because I found it difficult that every day people should come and ask me for Guru Mantra, so let it be. So it's on the Guru. And Hum-Sau. Hum-Sau is a meditation technique which is Kriya, but a very short and concise form of Kriya. Hum-Sau. In some great teachers taught only Hum-Sau. And some gave mostly Hum-Sau to the students. Without the elaborate Kriya that we learn, we did the Hum-Sau. Now, Lahiri Mahashaya, one of the great Kriya yogis, when somebody went to him and asked for, generally he gave them Hum-Sau. Because it is a very simple technique. It's basically very similar to Vipassana, where you become aware of your breath. To be aware of your breath, which we are not normally aware of. We breathe, we're really not aware of our breath. And it is so important, breathing. You can live without food or without water for some days, without breath. How many minutes can you survive? But we don't give any attention. In fact, people don't even know how to breathe generally. Because it is generally unconscious. It happens by itself, and when it stops, you know what happens. So, therefore, the yogis say, please, it's so important, be aware of your breath. So how do you be aware of your breath? Hum-Sau simply means the technique by which you can consider that you are initiated into Hum-Sau, which is Kriya. Now, since the question came up, sit down in a quiet spot, quietly. Don't do anything now, I'm just explaining. Close your eyes, because when I say close your eyes, people close, then they don't see what is going on. Sit in a comfortable posture, preferably cross-legged. Close your eyes and give attention to your breathing. As you inhale, give complete attention to your breath. Your breath is going in. Then, if you like, you can hold it for a second, or you can immediately start exhaling. As you exhale, give complete attention to the exhalation. Now, when you inhale, along with the inhalation, think in your mind that the sound of hum is going in as you breathe in. When you're holding, if you're holding for a second, you don't have to chant anything. Anyway, you're not chanting, it's in your mind. And then when you exhale, visualize that you are chanting the sound of Sau along with the exhalation. So inhalation is hum, exhalation is Sau. Don't try to control your breath or change its rhythm, nothing. Let it be whatever it is. After a while, you automatically feel like giving a deep sigh. Then again follow the same rhythm as the breath is natural. Hum inside and Sau outside. This is called Hum-Sau. So the question here is, you can start working on this. Guru Mantra, it's already there on YouTube. Guru Mantra is also very simple. It is Om, Hrim, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. That's all. So the question here is, I cannot meditate for long, don't worry. Many people can't. Can I just do the Guru Mantra? Yes, you can do the Guru Mantra. Om, Hrim, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. And then do the Hum-Sau. For half an hour, 15 minutes, do the Hum-Sau. When you do Hum-Sau with complete attention, your mind will not wander because it's occupied by your breath. Right? The problem with the mind is occupation. So from outside, it's occupied inside. Bring it there. Keep doing Hum-Sau for a while. And about the Gayatri, I cannot explain the Gayatri, it will take an entire satsang. But yes, you can chant the Gayatri during the end. After doing your Hum-Sau, chant the Gayatri a few times and then sit down and meditate quietly. The sitting down quietly in the end is very important because it is at that time that the effect of all you have been doing gets manifested. So take the Gayatri to the end. After Hum-Sau, chant the Gayatri and sit quietly. So you see, you came for a satsang, you also got the Kriya. Did I charge for you? If I charge for you, Babaji will throw me out of the system. Tough question. How to surrender to a guru? Advice, do not surrender to the guru. And don't become miserable at the end. I'll explain, okay? Then, how to let go and continue our journey? Why are we suffering? Oh, it started with that. I didn't see that. Why are we suffering? Look, it's very simple. The moment you are born into this world, have you seen any baby that is born into the world which laughs first or cries first? Imagine, even Ravan was born, he didn't say ha ha ha. Life is like that. There is suffering in this life. So you're born, you should be ready for it. I'm not saying you should invite suffering. That would be too much. But when there is happiness, there is always the other side behind. You should understand this. Nothing happens without a sacrifice. And sacrifice is suffering. Otherwise, what is the meaning of sacrifice? People suffer to achieve something which is beyond suffering. Sacrifice. So, suffering is part of human life. You need to accept it and find out how to not let it affect your mind. This is spiritual life. Even this yogi suffers physically. He may have a disease. He may be criticized by others. All these things happen, right? But the yogi knows that it means nothing. In this life you are born, in any case you are going to die at some point. It's a known fact, right? You ask the life history of any human being, anybody. Oh, he was born very poor, then he worked very hard, then he became very rich. You keep on asking, then he died. Another person was born in a very rich family, he lost everything, he became and then he died. I mean, there's nothing to be fearful of, it is inevitable. Ask anybody if they're totally free of suffering. No, something or the other is there. So you have to accept it, try your best to be free of as much suffering as possible. But don't forget the fact that it is there somewhere in seed form. Accept that as your friend. Dukh to apna saathi hai. The happiness comes and goes. Then it will lose its sting. When you begin to treat it like that, it will begin to lose its sting. Plus, have the treasure in your heart which comes through spiritual practice and meditation, where in the midst of all suffering there is happiness inside. It is not dependent on any external factor. In fact, if there is more suffering, the enjoyment inside is better. I'm not saying you should invite more suffering. Suffering is a lesson given to us to learn how to get beyond it. And it's common to all human beings. So accept it, try to work out ways to avoid if you can, but learn to enjoy what is inside your heart, which no suffering on the earth can affect, which is a spark of the divine which everyone possesses, luckily, and whose characteristic itself is happiness. Not the ordinary happiness, but anantamanandam, that unending happiness is your birthright. It is your inner being. Catch on to that. In the outer world, you cannot expect to avoid all suffering all the time. But when you are anchored here, then you can deal with it. This is the important thing. So this is the meaning of letting go and continuing your journey. As far as surrendering to the Guru is concerned, I don't want to comment on it. How will you know that it's a genuine person, that you will surrender to the Guru? So take time. Don't be in a rush to surrender. Don't be in a rush. You might end up in the wrong place. Careful. A Guru is not recognized by how he looks or what he says, but by the character of the heart, which is sarvatra samabuddhaya. Very easy. On satsang for 2 hours I sit and I am looking very happy and all that. Just watch when in action, in other actions, see carefully before you decide whether you if it is a true yogi, then under all circumstances the mind will be tranquil. Not just for 1 hour, under all circumstances. 1 hour I can sit down and say, Anandoham, Anandoham. I'm bliss, I'm bliss. I'm going to get out, and there's a car, or a road block, or a jam. I keep cursing the driver best. But this is not. So watch carefully. You cannot make out. It's very difficult. And how will you make out who a spiritual teacher is? Unless you are at that level, it's not difficult. Through outer circumstances, you cannot make out. So keep that in abeyance. Don't be in a hurry. Well, you have the greatest Guru, which is the divine spark in your heart. Surrender to that. Brahmanandam, Paramasugadam, Kevalam, Jnanamurtim, Dvandvadidam, Gaganasadarsham, Tattvamasyaadilaksham, Ekam Nityam, Vimalam, Achalam, Sarvadi, Sakshi Bhutam, Bhavatitam, Trigunarahitam, Sadgurum. That is the Sadguru, the Supreme Being. The Supreme Being is the Sadguru. There is no other Sadguru on this earth. So you don't have to surrender to anybody physically, surrender to that Supreme Being. What more can I say? If I say more, I might be misunderstood. The question here is a rather Vedantic question. You said that this is not the real world and we need to find it. Please, I didn't say it, it is a fact. I said it because it's a fact. The question is, you said, this is not, please, not what I said. Just look at it carefully. Is this the real world? The world, look. Let's take a simple thing in this world. We all live by our senses, right? Through our sense organs. The whole world that is presented to us is what we discover through our indriyas, through our 5 senses. We don't know of any other world, do we? No. Now, just take one example. One of the senses is the eye. Eyes. How do we recognize the so-called real world we're talking about? Because we see with our eyes, first thing. And I look at this piece of paper, and with my eyes and with the knowledge that I have gathered all my life, I say this is a rectangular piece of paper. Right? I say it is a rectangle because I can see it as a rectangle. Why do I see it as a rectangle? Because I am equipped from birth with a set of convex lenses which have a certain power, and therefore I see this as a rectangle. This is very simple. I don't think it's so complicated. I am born with a certain type of lens in my ear. I'm sorry, in my eyes. Now this is clear. Huh? Not in my ear. Ear, I'm born with a certain frequency. Eyes, I'm born with a certain kind of convex lens. Therefore, from childhood, I am seeing this as a rectangle. And I have been told that what you see this way is a rectangle. Are you sure that there aren't creatures in this world whose eyes are made differently? Are you sure? Who may not see this as a rectangle? What they see it, we don't know. I'll give you a simple example. Common house fly has compound eyes. Even if your child who goes to school, in biology class, he will learn that the common house fly, for instance, has what is called a compound eyes. Many small, small eyes put together. How will it see this rectangle as? How do we know? It may see as many corners, straight lines upside down, but if the fly is taught by its mother fly that it is a rectangle, it will still call it a rectangle, but it sees something else. So what I'm trying to say is not that the world is not real, but the reality is presented in different ways to different people depending on their observation, instruments of observation. And therefore it is relative. And since it is relative, it is not absolute. That is what I said. Not that it is not. Now I can't say you all don't exist. Of course you exist. But as I see it may be different from what somebody else sees it. Relatively existing. Not that it is not real. This is to say that everything is Maya. It's very easy to say that it's a pipe dream. There is something, but how we see it depends on our sense organs. And therefore it is not real as we think, it may be real as what somebody else thinks. And if it is so, then it is relative and therefore not absolute. If something is absolute, it has to be real to everybody in the same way, but it is not. That is what I meant. And it is not real because I said it. Now this example, you understand what I am trying to say. And we are actually born with, you say, the next part of the question, why are we not born with the ability to identify? Of course we are born with the ability to identify it here. There is one big structure here which can identify it, but we don't want to identify it. Because we are taught in a different way from childhood, we don't want to identify it. We live on the surface, we're not allowed to go deep inside. We are all equipped with that. It's not as if we are not equipped. But this equipment is used for other things. It's rarely used to understand yourself or what the world is. It's used for technology. Not that we are not equipped, we are. But we have not been given the hint that this is what it is. And the function of a teacher is to give you that hint, that you have the capacity, but you utilize it to figure this out. And when you figure it out, okay, I'm going to stay on this person. We all have dreams, right? We all have dreams. Sometimes in the dreams, we are apsaras. Sometimes in the dreams, we are rakshasas. Sometimes in the dream, we are the Sultan of Brunei. I mean gold. Sometimes in the dream, We are paupers looking for food, walking around on the street. I hope you don't have such dreams, but there are people who do. Now, when you are actually dreaming, I'm on the subject of reality. When you are actually dreaming, do you know that it's a dream? In rare instances one does, but generally, no. It's real. It's so real that even when you wake up, all the parameters of the body are exactly as it was when you're experiencing a dream. It will take some time to vanish. If you're driven by a lion, by a singam, right up to Singapore, when you wake up, there is no lion behind you. But your pulse is still going hard, your heart is beating hard because it was so real. The lion was behind you. When you wake up, you say, oh, it's a dream. Right? What if we are now in a long dream? Suppose. I'm not saying we are. Like speculate that we are in a long dream. If I say you're dreaming, will you believe it? No, you're still in the dream. Maybe at some point you'll wake up and stretch your hands and say, my God, what a long dream. Then you will see that which is called awakening. So, if something is real in the dream and not real when you're not dreaming, in dream is the waking state real? No. The dream state is real. If the reality depends on your state, then how can it be absolute reality? It is relative reality. All you have to remember is the witness is there in all cases. Dreaming, except in deep sleep, we are not aware of the witness. Dreaming or waking, there is a witness, right? Witness is common. The states are different. And therefore, the states are not real in the sense that they are not absolutely real. But the witness is real everywhere. Who's watching, who's witnessing, who's experiencing. So the witness only is this. To find that witness is the whole spiritual journey. You say, if the witness is you, how to find it? This is the journey. To say that the witness is one that actually is, but all other states are relative and therefore not absolutely real. I'm not saying they're not real. Absolutely not real. That's what I mean. So that is what I mean. So don't think it's not real. You have a cup of tea. It's not an illusion. It is very real. You're sipping tea. Somebody says, oh, Vedanta says it is all Maya. It's nonsense. It's not Maya. It's very much there. But what Vedanta is trying to say is that these are all relative experiences. The absolute is only the witness. If you understand that and live in this world, you can also perform in this world and also stay away from this world, if required. "6:30. You have to see how many questions. Okay. Now for this question, they said Vanakkam, so Vanakkam, whoever wrote this. We have discussed most of it in the satsang today morning and now. So I don't think I need to repeat this. He says, I always have this question in my mind, what is the purpose of this life? Why do we have to go through so many hurdles and pain? I feel so much down, no direction in this life. I'm searching for my soul. I think we discussed in the morning much of this, what we are looking for, why we are looking for. And as far as this life is concerned, all the failures and all the pains teach us how to move forward. Take them as lessons and move forward. If you suffer, and even while you're suffering, if you can offer a little bit of help to someone who is suffering, half of your suffering will be taken away. I'm telling you. Because then you realize it's the same feeling that the other guy is also having. This is called compassion. So while you live in this difficult life, do practice a little bit of compassion, at least. I'm not saying give away all your wealth to some long, tall order, but do something good. Because Manav Seva is actually Bhagavat Seva. Why? Because in all beings there is the divinity. By serving beings, you are serving divinity in some way. Keep this. The rest of the questions we have discussed in the morning, we've also discussed now a little bit, so we won't go into this. I think I will have one last question and we will. I was about to say something, but I stopped myself in time. I said we can discuss it when I come again, but Now here is a question which is very practical. Why are some people going through so much sorrow in life? If you don't know why, it's still the reality they are going through sorrow in life. You are finding out why they are going through this sorrow is not going to solve the sorrow. Sorrow is. It's like gravity. Gravity is. If somebody asks why is there gravity? I don't know, but gravity is. And because gravity is, we have to adjust to it in the same way. Whether we know the origin of sorrow or not, well, Buddha said, desire is the root of all sorrow. Let's leave it alone, tall order. But we know that people are going through sorrow, so it's a fact. You need to accept it in life. Maybe you, maybe somebody else. And nobody is totally free of it, right? We have one thing and we don't have another, so we are in sorrow. Huh? So the next line is, it's part of this sorrow business. Kids getting raped, what is their fault? True. But you can't sweep it under the rug and say, I don't care. Right? You need to do something about it. What do we do to help? This is the last question, part of the question. To the best of our ability, try to help people who are going through this. If you are a spiritual person and if you have understood or even slightly experienced the joy which comes in meditation, try to also teach them to it. Which doesn't mean that you should not alleviate as much as you can their sorrows. Somebody asked Swami Vivekananda, shall we go into the villages and teach Vedanta? He said, are you crazy? Go into the villages, they have empty stomachs. Teach them how to earn a living and feed themselves. Don't teach Vedanta to empty stomachs. It won't register. He said, if you want to go into the villages, take microscopes, take telescopes, take books on geography, maps, teach them how to move in life. Then they will take care of their sorrows. So, if you have even a little bit of that peace in meditation or prayer, try and teach others about it. At the same time, in your own way, in your small way, whatever possible, try to alleviate as much. You cannot do anything. The world has sorrow, which nobody can escape. Now I'm also feeling very sorry because I can't continue more. There's also a kind of sorrow, right? Seriously, I'm not happy that I'm not continuing. I'm feeling sorry, but because I see so many sincere people sitting, listening, looking at me. But we can do only what we can do, right? 10 years ago, I might have said, let's continue till 9 o'clock. Now I'm 74. My body also needs a little bit of rest. And I've been running around like a mad fellow. So, thank you very much. I'm sorry there are many more questions. We will deal with them at some point. Huh? Uh, Hopefully we'll meet at some time. And thank you very much. I personally enjoyed the satsang because I see lots of sincere people listening uh, here. And thank you everybody for Om Shanti 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 Vanakkam Namaskaram. So God bless you. Take care. Sincere, I'm sure we meet again.